Never trust a bronze
So-
dragon.
All of them are down.
Yes.
And one that's alive, but unconscious. There's 2 that have fled.
All right, so I'm gonna rest.
How long? First, we'll do medicine checks on these 2. On Relion and the Relion and the girl and the ambassador. I have a medicine kit, so that's an instant.
You guys know I have. I keep.
We know
a
once you're
on
up,
me.
but
Yeah.
Song of Rest is 1/6 to anybody within earshot.
But it takes time to do it.
You have to take a short
So
rest.
may as well stabilize first, so there's no.
Yeah, you have to stabilize her.
stabilize before.
So what do you got? Who's attempting to stabilize her?
I have a healer's kit. It's an auto. I'm going to use
okay,
that.
yeah, healer's kit. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll lay it. They're next to each other conveniently enough, so I'll lay it open so you can grab bandages and whatnot too. So that worked. Thank you guys for that, for falling right next to each other.
Yeah, that can be.
You're quite welcome. I tend to,
And that's good to Jet Healer's kit because
He's getting good at
if you
falling to the
require a
ground.
check and it failed, she'd be dead.
Yeah.
If you take damage, that's 2.
He's getting good at falling down. You know where to land now. Like getting jumped. You just wear Spike's armor. Armor just go everywhere Spike's out. You're gonna jump from every which way. Porcupine.
On the guy that I knocked unconscious earlier, I want to make a perception check to see if I can't find if he has whatever that guy hit.
Mm-hmm.
Remove it, and then I want to bind him up so that we can kind of take him.
Yeah, actually, the thing I was going to say is once I do my medicine-y thing, I have this third eye for a minute. I'm going to use it to look over these things because I notice I just see things more clearly, and just see if I can identify insignias. Try and find the vial they broke on the other bodies that have fell, and kind of get a sense for that. Whatever I can do.
Okay,
in that minute.
so when you search the guys underneath, you find it. It looks like it's made out of pewter, as a dragon's claw, grasping an orb. And when you hold it up to the light, it's like a prism. So it has prismatic colors through it. Under more careful inspection, you notice it's very specific on the colors you can see through the prism. And what is you have investigate or?
Let's see. I do have investigation. Yes.
Okay. What's the rank?
What do you mean rank? It's
What's
a
your
plus 4 modifier.
Okay. So essentially, you after looking at it from you deduce that it only shows the colors of the dragons that you've read about.
That I've read about.
Yes, metallic and chromatic dragons.
Right.
And so what is there? Was there 2 of them fled?
One died, and then I got that one there.
Okay.
So
And then the one that died, you can see that there was actually under the collar of his cloak, or actually the underside of his cloak, there was a glass bead. You can see the shards of broken glass.
Was he the only person that had such a suicide kit, or all the others have it?
No, this one has it too. The other one's fled.
Oh, right.
So you only have the 2. The other one actually has the bead.
Yeah, because I pretty much went whack, knocked out before you could use it.
So can unseen servant slap one of those on something?
no, because attack requires attack roll.
You got to use a blowgun. Just don't accidentally breathe in.
So it seems like I could drop it from a floor above. What's happening?
And judging by the way he died, you can only guess that he just inhaled the vapors.
Yeah. So of the hangers on, there's one guy still standing.
Yeah. So he
the
begins helping look
Are the
over.
other 5 dead?
Oh yeah, I would have before I go to loot. Well, I would have actually laid out the kit for.
I think the 4 people that are still standing would use the stuff on everyone else
before I'm going and investigating and stabilizing who can be. Well, or I direct them to if I can find something more useful to make better use of this time.
The healer, my thought is get everyone stable, do Song of Rest to give everyone some hit points back. Hopefully,
well, unfortunately, Song of Rest only helps people who are already up. You need to have 1 hit point to benefit from Song of Rest. Yes, because it benefits those who are spending a hit die. You can only spend a hit die if you're at 1 hit point or higher.
This assassin that's unconscious, I guess. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that he has no way of just killing himself again. And,
again?
Well, killing himself, and I'm going to bind him up and kind of drag him along.
Okay.
Whether he likes it or not.
So 2 of the retainers are actually just dead.
All right.
The other 4 will survive. The one guy's fine. Just terrified. And needs a change of breach clothes.
He needs his pants changed multiple times.
Well, that did not go well.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
We need to get everyone up
I
in
knew I should have
someplace
said
safe.
no to going to the back of the line.
Well,
Yeah, but
the
you're a good
safest
soldier.
place is going to be the palace.
Is it close enough?
Is it relatively close from this?
Yeah, you guys were pretty close to it.
Yeah, from this murder alley.
Yeah.
I'm dragging your arm.
The biggest problem, though, is the number of down people you guys have.
Yeah. Get them all moving.
I can carry 2.
Yeah.
Well, I can carry 1 more because I'm dragging.
Or you could call for the watch or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be what you would want to. Do.
Yeah. Well, especially because like now Rizza Goldeneye is a fugitive from justice and this and that.
Or I could just stick my head up there like, hey, I could use a hand.
Yeah, but we don't know how far it goes. We call for a watch. They could just be part of it. I mean, you know the town better than I do. It's your call. I know some of the guys from the watch that I think I was friendly with. But
You definitely feel like you connected with some of them, and you.
I didn't see any of them here, did I?
No.
Okay.
No.
Torg, why don't you? Would he know? Has he seen anyone on duty that he recognized on the way in?
He has not, but it's a.
They want to let us
city.
away from those guys. They're part of the trap. I should know where some of their somebody's normal patrol route is compared to here, because I did walk around with them and try to figure out what they were doing.
Yeah, like once you leave like the back alleys, you're likely to run into somebody. Where if the call for the watch goes out, they'll come, like any city or town.
Yeah. Well, in mass, you got to trust that most of them will be. So
right,
basically, we'll call for escort. Yeah,
that's fine.
I'll send you out since you're still pretty RA and call for the call.
Also, I just take my arcade head thing off. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people coming to try to say hi.
Now, there was the whole fact that, Thunderwave was cast, so whether that brings good people or bad people.
That's true. That was enough.
Yeah, there was a thunder wave.
Yeah.
If they ask me that, I'll just say it was my fault.
Oh, and also we would have probably had you set up to coup de grace the sleeping cat because it was asleep.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so that happened.
Murdered the poor cat.
Traitor.
I just grab it by top jaw in one hand, lower jaw in one hand, just split it in half.
That's brutal.
That was kind of gruesome.
That is
Could have just like.
If you can do that the whole time, why are we hurt?
Because it's not attacking him.
He totally Godzilla's this thing. And actually that's true. Like within another round or two, the watch shows up on their own. You don't have to. I forgot about the Thunderwave, but it's only been 2 rounds and it's 12 seconds.
Right.
So
this response time for like a city is pretty damn good, actually.
Yeah. So they, within a few rounds, they show up and go. They're looking around and ask what happened.
I give a full account, the betrayal of Rizza, and
I kind of hold up the unconscious guy and just be like, ask him. He should be able to not answer you this time.
We have wounded.
Excuse me. Yes.
we need a contingent hunting for Rizza Goldeneye, his accomplice, and what if there was any sort of features that I can recall from that one, and an escort to the palace as well. We have many down.
They're not familiar with your anatomy, though, so let me put you back together weird. I got scales. What's that?
Yeah, no.
Your left hand is now your right
he
paw.
introduced himself as Oleg, Knight Talon, Sergeant of the Watch, and he starts directing his people to gather up the wounded as best they can. I mean, dragonborn are pretty big in stature compared to humans. They're a lot broader and stockier, so they kind of just
like they're automatically stronger.
yeah, almost. So they start scooping them up. Some of them look like children in their arms. And
I might not be strong, but I'm a little stout.
yeah. So does that make you portly?
Yeah.
So, and if there
Friar Tuck-esque, you would say.
if there was any coin, I'm sure one of us would have grabbed that from the down guys, like while we were doing the thing. Just
No one would say I've missed a meal.
Yeah. You each get 21 silver.
okay, rich, so rich.
Is that divided to me as well?
Yeah, I said each. Unless they take your 21 silver. Be like, we just got another 7.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing these are draconic silver pieces.
Yeah, it would be of the realm.
I guess I'll take the one assassin that I got knocked out and be like, look, I managed to knock one out. You guys want him?
Yes, there's going to be questions about
So,
this.
and also too, like, it's not just like I commonly relate the betrayal of Rizza Goldeneye. Like, I pace back and forth, like clenching and unclenching my talons. And
Oleg turns to you. He says, "Rizza, are you certain?"
unless somebody else wore his visage, I am certain of this.
This is most disturbing indeed.
I want his
He's
head
one of our
mounted
most
on-
honored warriors.
I want his head mounted on a pike as soon as possible. If not by your hand, then by my own.
Yeah, well, I suspect you're going to have to get in line for that. The Emperor is not going to be pleased.
So did any of the actual commoners outright die, or is everyone actually alive too?
So we've lost 2 of them.
So when I'm aware of that, I will absolutely make, get their names from, Rena, and make sure that when Rizza is brought to justice or whatever, that reparations to their family are dealt with.
By talon and tooth, he will pay for this.
I'm sure the Emperor will make accommodations for their families. This is most grievous. And you see Olok looking around, and you can just tell he's weighing the situation and calculating. And he lets out a slight hiss
I'm sorry about the Dranthers.
under his breath. And you guys, Bloodfang, Falcor, it's easy enough for you to read his expressions of annoyance, disgust, and anger. For Torg and Relion,
I'm just trying not to die.
you're unconscious. It doesn't matter.
I'm still trying. I'm trying not to die.
Yeah, you got like 4 hit points left or something. You're fine.
2.
2. You split the difference.
2 left.
But yeah, you can definitely you can see that he's weighing the implications of this, and he's not pleased. We have such high hopes.
Well, I guess we will make our way to the palace and deal with things as come what may.
And so, look, hold on before we move. Let's call for some people from the enclave of the spirit, so they can get your companions patched back up instead of moving them.
Mm-hmm.
He starts giving orders to the guards to his detail to set a perimeter, protect the perimeter, as well as send a runner to the enclave.
Tell them to
send two.
Make sure that one of them gets there.
Send everyone.
The perimeter moves. So within 15, 20 minutes, a large drake comes up, sprinting up, and before it even stops, a dragonborn slides from its back, billowing cloak and robes, with the symbol of the enclave of the spirit, emblazoned upon the chest.
TBD.
No, it's which is a crimson field with blue flames and a hovering eye above the flames. And before he's even hitting the ground, he begins muttering words of prayer and speaking in Draconic, beseeches the great dragon above to offer succor to these poor souls. And
up to 6 creatures regain 2d8 plus your spellcasting modifier if you're doing what I think you're doing.
yes, pretty much. So everyone that's down
Pillar of flame.
yeah, flame strike.
You don't know how far this goes.
Yeah. So everyone that was down begins to kind of like stir, and then he steps over to the two that are dead
for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, and as he steps around the bodies, you probably notice like a gleam underneath of the robes of metal, and he kneels down between the two and crushes 2 diamonds, one in each hand, and hisses in Draconic, "I call you back. Come back." I wonder if that's actually on the list, but I don't care. And with that, they each gasp, and you see their chests rise and fall, but they're alive.
So we lose anybody?
No, everyone is well.
12th level spell, resurrection.
No, it's not resurrection.
Hey, first day on the job. Good job, me. Nobody's dead.
Almost.
Only mostly dead.
We need a better security.
We didn't stay dead, at least.
Yeah.
Well, more importantly,
Hey, still
I need
alive
to know
and
not
quite
to
about.
say yes when somebody tells me to go to the back.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Well,
survived an ambush by one of your higher-ups. What do you want?
You're following orders. What else are you gonna do?
You tell me to punch, I punch.
Yeah. You've been trained to do it for a while.
Kill them alive.
Oh, it is on the list. Good.
Next time you do doubling thing, double him.
Double him?
He's dead?
No.
Oh.
Revivify.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3rd level spell.
Okay, that's got a shorter window than that, but you're the DM.
Was it 1 minute?
Yeah.
Oh. Oops. Whatever.
You're the DM. He just must be that awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was like an hour for some reason.
We looked it up.
For the last session, it was necessary. Yeah.
Also to bring back some
Peasants. Yeah.
We really care about our red shirts.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, I can erase those notes about the murdered peasants now.
Yeah.
The attempted murder.
So now we have special spell components that extend the duration.
Yeah, that's that becomes canon.
Canon.
It says retcon Ruby.
So is the 2d8 enough to get the regular peasants off on their own?
Yeah, because one brings in. You're at 0 effectively, and they're commoners, so I think they have like 4 hit points.
For everyone?
They're automatically going to get maxed because I think they only have 4 hit points as commoners.
All right, so then, well, it's up to 6 people for the prayer of healing.
Yeah,
So I imagine he's using it on the ones who were down, and that leaves 1 extra person. So is that going to Todd?
yeah, you can go to Todd.
I'm the most closely to dead.
So what is his spellcasting modifier?
Oh, add 4.
All right, so I rolled 2d8, so that's 14.
Woohoo! Significantly less than dead.
Not dead yet.
All right. So similar in vein, I can begin doing the same thing because I don't know how bad she is. I don't know how bad you guys are.
Well, with that healing, I should be fine, right? Like the big guy, like gave a lot of the healing.
No, he only hit 6 people.
Oh,
I'm okay. I'm only 4 down, so it's nothing I need to worry about this minute.
All right, so mine's of course not going to be as good as his. It's 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if there's anybody else that actually needs it.
Okay.
So I'm down 8. Anybody else still injured?
I was only down 6.
Well, you're full now.
Okay.
You should be full now. How bad are you?
Only down by 2 now. That's good.
You're full. I'm full. So I have a second and 2 firsts. So I will thank the priest for not only bringing us back from the cusp, but for actually bringing back 2 of ours.
It's actually, there's no need for thanks. It is I who should be apologizing on behalf of our people for this grievous assault. My name is Signoreth, servant of the dragon above.
I am one who studies in the spiritual ways as well. Some of my people follow one by the name of Quenthel, which is a beacon of knowledge and magic. My companion Falcor has told me much of your home here. It is that desire to study both that has brought me here.
so this is probably said as we're on the walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All this.
it turns out it's a female.
Okay. Hot.
You can see that there are several weapons that are actually on the mount, in sheaths, and she's very lithe and graceful looking for the dragonborn that you've seen. And she's got that crazy frilly hair
Okay.
of the dragonborn and the scales, the scale dreadlocks. It's a holy, yeah, the scale locks. It's a holy thing amongst their people. So, did I hear correct? Rizza Goldeneye led this assault.
Unless there was some magics that someone was wearing his visage, that was true, and that's the case.
He proclaimed himself as such, and he turned, leading us through this dark alley, and when he felt that he was in position, he turned, made accusations at Falcor, spit at his feast, spit at his
feast. Oh my God! How disrespectful.
He spit at his feet, and we could tell the hostile intent, and saying that the emperor was weak.
He's a turnscale. He must be hunted down, brought to justice.
Unfortunately, I believe it really is Rizza. He has been outspoken since you've come back with the outsiders. He says you've been gone far too long with them.
He had a cohort of others among him, and I'm sure that this goes even further. There's conspiracy amongst maybe the Enclave of Warriors, or maybe he has allies in the other enclaves as well. These must be sorted out.
Do I need to go punch things now?
When we find the thing to punch, yes.
Do you guys show her what you found?
Yeah, I'll pull it out.
This you guys flash back to you're traveling through the city. As she speaks, and you remember seeing something that you didn't really pay much attention to, and it was graffiti that had been scrawled on the side of a building that was being scrubbed away.
Glad to know there's still angsty teenagers in this area.
And when she looks at it, she hisses out the words "Legion of Draconis." This is a new movement. They've been leaving. They've been trying to recruit others and leaving their message around the city is one of bigotry and hate. They are very much against us mingling with the other peoples. And Rizza has been spoken most loudly about the possibility that Jankar Firescale, Falcor, and Bloodfang may be turned scales since they've been gone for so long. He kept proclaiming that, over the years, how could they possibly still hold their allegiance to the Dragon Emperor?
He was the one that did not maintain allegiance to the Emperor.
I know not if this is considered a political matter that you wish to settle upon yourselves, but if there's anything that I and my kind, I'll point to Todd and Rena and whatnot.
She said two things that that you probably would have picked up on. She keeps saying years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's. I both kind of goes, wait, years? We haven't really been gone that long.
Did it feel like the first time I left that it was that sort of length and breadth of time that it occurred?
No one's actually spoken about this.
And it didn't seem like there was a big time jump coming back to the kingdom in Gryffindor.
No.
Well, that's interesting.
So when she says, do you guys say anything?
I do.
Okay.
How much time have we been gone? There was no mention of this lapse.
From the time that you appeared from your first return from the time you departed to your first return, it's been a decade.
Unless I'm aging slowly, it has not been a decade.
time in the other world has not been nearly that time.
It hasn't, and even like you
So-
saw the construction,
Oh.
so
It was much further along than it should have been.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was coincided with the construction on the other side, actually fairly well. So the only thing that you can surmise, and so the only thing you can really surmise is that your the initial fall through the anomaly
Took longer.
took longer.
So
That would explain
prior
why
to the
they-
gate existing, it was unstable, and therefore the time stream might travel differently.
Falcor, that could explain why when we came back the first time, they probably thought we were all dead.
They did have that presumption, I think.
That could explain it if, in fact, what you're thinking is true, because I don't understand any of this. All I understand is the fact that she's saying it's been about 10 years, and I don't think it's been that long.
We have not
Well,
been amongst the.
Their leader is Jankor, right? The guy who left and came back.
Yeah, for lack of
He's my
better words,
mentor.
Yeah.
Mentor. Yeah. So what has Jankor said about this time lapse? Because I can assure you, I was there when Falcor and Bloodfang came through the anomaly, and it has been less than a year.
We've not been amongst the hairless apes.
Well, no, it's
offense,
been a little more than a year.
Okay,
but-
sorry. It's been just over, a year.
In Draconic, I say, surely we haven't been amongst the hairless apes for a decade. No offense.
I've been talking in Draconic.
No, I say no offense, but that's the best way to describe humanoids.
She looked surprised for a moment. She's like, "Oh, forgive me." It wasn't until Jankar Fire Scout has been back for some time after you guys left again that we realized that you didn't know. You've been gone for over a decade. We did. We thought that part of the expedition was lost to us. Which that part they made clear.
I must reaccustom ourselves to what shifts and changes have happened in my absence. I did not realize, and I was not here very long thereafter my return. Piece together.
More notes.
I tend to. I'm more of a shepherd of the spirit than the mind, and I do not fully understand everything that Jankor spoke of, but he did say something about the stasis whilst you fell through the rift. Perhaps when
We don't untap during our upkeep. Got it.
it didn't get untapped, that's for sure.
Somebody forgot about us for 10 turns.
10 years.
Yeah, they're making magic jokes.
No, I know.
Okay.
They're magical.
No,
But I don't think a turn is a year long, that's all.
Depends how slow you play.
if
We've
you're
known some players.
if you're playing Soul Sisters, it takes a while.
So
I make 150 copies of this one that gives me one like every time it shows up.
Jankor's theory was when they stabilized the portal, it unlocked the stasis.
Yes. Because it was unstable magic. I'd like to see what theorems my brother and the Enclave of Knowledge have been working on. I'm sure they have charts and maps and equations to try and chart this.
Well, now that
They have charts of the charts of the
the maps.
equations of the pi maps.
well, now that
Oh no,
Yeah,
more,
it's
not
at
more
least-
boring stuff.
knowledge passed on to those in the Enclave, should that settle the loyalty of these three?
The loyalty of these two are not in question.
Well, to these, to this rebel group, it clearly is.
She makes this like chuffing sound on the back of her neck, which we take to be as like a laugh, and then spits, which you're still kind of curious about because they don't have lips. And says for this group it will not matter. They're bigots. They will find another reason to hate.
That mindset is not unique to your world, but all one can do is try to enlighten the next. So back to,
and sometimes it's at the point of very powerful magics, destructive magics.
The point has been argued before the Emperor to the point where he nearly took Rizza's life himself in his anger.
So I will again, say that I don't know if you consider this, an internal political situation, or if there's anything that I am, again pointing to, Rena and Todd, if there's anything that we might be able to do to assist.
Before she can speak, Rena kind of nudges you. She's like, although your intent is well and good, but I do believe this is going to be a matter for them to handle themselves. Outside interference will only make it worse.
And that is why I have offered and allow them to.
Excellent. We'll take care of it.
To do it as they please, as they see.
Just I think they all have chainsaws and heavy shields.
Okay. I like a challenge.
Did you say chainsaws and heavy shields?
Yes, I did.
We've come as guests, into the city, and are set upon. And while I might not be as stout as point towards the soldiers that are walking along us, I still will fight for my cause.
I do not doubt that, or your words, or your resolve, if you will. It's just a matter of some things. The only way we're going to change our people's hearts and our minds is by changing them ourselves. Hopefully through the process of peaceful existence with your people and perhaps mutual benefit to both of our people.
I would like to see nothing more.
Have these Draconis people put out a list of things they demands? They may tell us what they're
like a 95 thesis.
Or what they want to change. They may tell us what they're going to target next.
Well, they just feel like the weak, soft pinkskins should probably be subjugated and at best used as beasts.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Good joke.
Do you have an ex-wife?
Yeah.
In game or out?
Yes.
Yes. Let's go with yes.
Well, I don't know. In game, it's not really an ex, I don't think. Like if they die, right? That's not an ex.
That's something.
They're still married.
Yeah.
I would like to send word back to our side, let them know that there could be some kind of attack.
Okay.
Shouldn't be caught unaware.
It's true.
We will,
If you don't mind, I would like to pick from your guard a couple to send that I know.
we can accommodate that. I'm sure the Emperor will be more than happy, especially after the slight that has been offered to you and your people.
Your back is all burned down. Too late.
Too late.
Draconis was here. WUZ.
So do you want to pick two dragonborn that were your
come out buddy with just a.
All right, who are they?
I don't know. I don't have names for them. You never give me names.
Just give them the names.
No, they're your buddies, not mine.
Okay. Lizard 1, Lizard 2. I never learned the language.
Jorg and Frecken.
Jordy.
Blue and Delta.
Jordan Frecka?
Jorg and Frecken.
Oh.
Which is the F word in Japan.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it.
Frickin' Jorg.
Those guys always together. Some trouble.
Frecking the shit up.
But they do it in pairs because one is always drunk. They take turns.
Nice.
They're like the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the Dragonborn Guard troop. Indistinguishable.
I was going to make them the Goblins of the Dragonborn.
A little less highbrow, but alright.
Well, in that case, if they are, then at least when the goblins do eventually get here, they'll have somebody to hang out with.
Oh, God.
I don't think Dave wants to roleplay that one.
So, you guys, you're led to the high spire.
The direct route this time?
The direct route. No secret ways. And again, you guys are offered a lavish suite to stay in, and the ceremony has been postponed for the next day, in light of the recent events.
So I should actually stay this time.
And actually, you guys are actually asked to stay in light of what has happened.
If
They want no more incidences.
if anyone, I don't know, what kind of liberties, we actually have, but if there's anyone from the Enclave of Spirit that would be willing and able to, either take a meal or sit down with me or whatnot, I'd love to, learn about the, their studies in the Dragon Above and whatnot.
I'm sure they can arrange. Matter of fact, I'll be free if you like.
Is that Signorath?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So, actually the meal is set for you, and you guys are will be taking it in your chambers, and just before the meal, there's a knock at the door, and the guards that are posted outside your door open the two large double doors, and usher in an imposing figure that stands, 7.5 foot tall, fully arrayed in full plate armor that's etched in electric blue colors. He's wearing a full great helm. You just see intricate designs that looks like scale work throughout the whole of the armor. Above, sticking out from one side of his shoulder is a massive hilt of a great sword, and Cloudbuster would be a great way to describe it. And he's not dragonborn at all. He's very much humanoid. And the only place you can see any skin whatsoever is on his face through the great helm.
Hi, boss.
What's that?
Oh, hi, boss.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the only part of his face that is really visible, and you see the draconic golden eyes that look out from the helm. Where you can see skin, it seems to be lightly scaled. His lips are just slightly dimpled as small fangs protrude, but other than that, he's very human proportion. No, did dragonborns have tail?
No. Dragonborns don't have tails now.
Oh, right, because they're tailless lizard men. Gotcha. Yeah, so. But again, his proportions are more human-like than they are dragonborn. He's built, more grace, very triangular shape, opposed to the dragonborn tend to be more. They're large and tall, but they still have that kind of blocky, square look to them. And so I've come to look in upon my guests and offer my most sincere apologies.
Should I be making some kind of fear check on this?
Well, as his gaze settles upon you, even before he enters the room, actually, your heart begins to flutter and palpitate a bit. The Dragonborn, you feel something completely different. You actually feel kind of exhilarated and excited at his presence, at the awe. And when he looks at the human and half-elf, and he sees kind of the effect he's having on you guys, you see him just kind of like focus slightly for a split second, and that feeling begins to fade.
Okay. When he enters, upon his entry, I kneel as is proper.
Okay, you done the same?
If I notice that, I won't take a knee, but I will definitely bow. Clearly, this is a being of power and presence, and
that can kill you with a thought.
Yeah.
This is the boss man.
Yeah. So the other people here as well, and actually the you do get a whiff of urine, the smell of urine.
the retainers.
Yeah. And Rena stands from her seated position, does a very deep sweeping bow, and your Grace, I was not expecting to see you so soon. And then he bids you all to sit. You are my guests, and a most and grievous insult has been done this day.
Thankfully, none of us are worth the wear for his efforts. Thanks to Signoreth and your loyal guardsmen.
Well, it's good to know. These scoundrels are but few amongst our people. As all people have their good and their bad, so do we. I would ask that you accept me to your table to dine this evening.
We would be greatly honored. It grieves me so to know that such fetid plots have hatched within the greatness of this high spire.
These fools, they're so young. They understand so little. They have not tasted of war. And I will not have my children suffer. So with that, he with one hand reaches behind and pulls out his greatsword so he can take a seat. But as he's drawing it, it just seems like that thing is sliding out of its scabbard forever. And it looks like something Bloodfang would probably struggle to wield with two hands.
And he
just takes it with one hand and places it at his side and sits and bids you all do the same.
I might have trouble wielding it, but I would try to wield it nonetheless. I'm stuck under it at some point too.
It's like the Thor hammer. Like you probably can't even lift it. It's just stuck in place.
So it's been brought to my attention, and I realized when you last left here, there was a bit of knowledge that was misconstrued amongst us all as to how long you actually were gone.
Yes, we were finding this fact out much after the fact.
But just recently.
That is why we were so surprised when you returned after a decade. We did not believe the thing was possible.
And obviously, from our side of things, not such a time as that had elapsed at all, so we would not be none the wiser. So there is much time missed as to what's been going on in the city since then.
And
much to be learned.
This place is almost like a capsule, lost in time. So not much has changed here in the days that you've left and returned. Until now. Now the great change is upon us. And we must stride forward into the future with great care. There will be difficulties and challenges ahead, as they've been laid at my very doorstep this day, as you see. But we must strive for a better future and not go back to the ways of the past.
Do we know how large, or my apologies, do you know how large this Draconis group actually is?
We do not know how far the cancer has spread. We, in this place, in our world, there is not many other than ourselves, and kind of deviations and variations of dragonkin. We do not have elves here, or dwarves, or men.
But you have knowledge thereof and their languages, I hear.
Did you hear that?
Doesn't he speak some of those other languages?
But I'm well studied. I'm sagely. That's not the common populace.
He's a sage. Like, yeah. How many languages do you speak? And one of them is primordial. So.
Yeah. 5.
Yeah. Dracono Common and Primordial are 3 of them. So,
Okay.
What are the other 2?
I took Celestial and Elven.
So at least the knowledge, the knowledge of elves are at least here, you know.
Yes, but the other races have not graced this place in quite some time. Occasionally, they come from other places, but we're going with Ulfgania, right?
Yeah.
But the realm of Ulfgania has been lost to us for countless ages.
My knowledge of history does not go back so far, but it must be unsettling to all of a sudden have new races, almost alien, thrust upon you. I grew up in a city where elves, halflings, gnomes, dwarves, and elves all are exist and welcome, and yet more races beyond live outside our walls.
Yes, unfortunately, it's not so here. My people have been sheltered for a long time. They're about to become re-immersed in the world at large. It is very...
Not to be indelicate, Your Grace, but have you lost any to this Draconis uprising?
There has been. Not many, or we do not know the full extent either.
I mean lives lost.
Yes, I understand. There has been few, and always with a message. Race traitors.
Well, was this Rizza ordered to meet us?
No.
He acted rogue. So
what happened to the ones who were?
There was none. You were just meet at the you were coming to the enclave.
So
as you did the first time.
I was seeing if it was anyone lost trying to meet us.
No, he had. It's been several hours. So as our investigation has turned out, he had forged documents that he gave to the guards with the royal seal upon it.
So is Rizza presently being hunted? No, I would.
All of them are going to be sought out, and they will be punished.
So, is Draconis just a name of an order, a legion, or is there an actual figurehead that is known or speculated of them?
Someone is leading them. We do not know who yet. They are calling themselves the Legion of Draconis. As you saw, most of them kill themselves before they can be taken. Bloodfang, you've been one of the first to be able to capture one alive.
Then maybe we should learn to stop sneaking up on me.
So hopefully we'll be able to garner some information from this villain.
If you would but point us in ways to suss out this Legion of Draconis, I would be happy to undertake the endeavor myself. Though bloody sport is not what is my beck and calling, I do feel a personal debt of vengeance in this.
Oh, come on, you know you'd enjoy it.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. You have an important task ahead of you, which
yes.
which now has probably been made far more difficult than it was yesterday.
The this is true. And that's why I feel such anger at this.
My understanding is, from everything Jankar has related, the people of this town of Gryffindor have done nothing but helped.
Right. And any suspicions that may have existed, well, this would magnify any sort of dissenting opinions that could be, because as we have dissenters here, there are those that would probably be suspicious of us back in the world of Wolfgang as well.
But what is done. We will send reparations to the families for those that were harmed.
Well, it is better that they were harmed and no lives lost. There was much fear of that.
Yes. And he nods to Signorath. Luckily, we had a powerful servant of the dragon above to aid us.
I must remember the dragon above and to be more diligent in my prayers in the future for the great aid rendered to us. For it's more the lore than of the spirit that I tend to call to.
So, for now, enough of this unpleasantness. He claps his hands, and blood wine is brought to all of you in crystal chalices that are accented and highlighted with gold and silver.
Somehow, I think if some of our other companions were here, those chalices would be found back in Gryffindor.
Somehow.
Yes, they would.
They might get too drunk to steal anything. So with that, the conversation then turns to more pleasant matters, and they begin acquainting both Torg and Relion with what they consider the finer points of dragonborn society and what they have here.
I'm intrigued by pretty much all of it. Most of my questions go towards the learning. How does it determine if somebody's going to go to one of the spires? What's the hierarchy? It's definitely
Well, every year we hold trials, and from these trials we assess the aptitude of our people for those that wish to aspire to be more and rise through the ranks of the spires. And from there, only the cream of the crop, the best of the best, are selected to actually study.
I would have probably explained this at length because of the grandizes myself.
Yeah,
that would have been a point of conversation.
That's true.
And then, so you probably actually belong to the Warrior Enclave, except for you've always been an outsider.
Yeah.
You're from somewhere else, and you are not actually from the city. So although they accept you, but you've never felt like you quite belonged. For a gleaming moment in those 2 weeks when you had returned, you experienced camaraderie like you never have before, and you actually felt like the other warriors and citizens were treating you different than they have in the past.
Probably because I was drunk.
Possibly.
Drunken recall.
So, if my conversations with Signorath, ever get around to it, I don't know how long the stay plans on being, but if I could actually, go to or visit, the spire of the spirit, that would be a great honor.
I'm sure that can be arranged before you leave, but it is getting late, and the ceremony for tomorrow is going to be long and arduous. So you should rest up. Especially you, Bloodfang. It's going to be a big day.
Oh,
Make sure your armor and weapons are polished and you're wearing your best.
So should I leave the Anke head at home?
I leave that to your discretion.
Okay.
What are you doing with an Ankeg
Head.
head?
He made a helmet out of it.
Oh.
What else would you do with an Ankeg head?
I had it basically fashioned so that the helmet that normally came with the armor got stuck inside, so I just wear it as kind of like an overpiece.
Okay.
So, with that, you guys, the next day, you're brought any kind of finery you would like to wear?
So into the evening, probably the wine sort of soaking my brain and sort of just turning over the events of the day. Again, in a rage that there is a golden
You try anything stupid, I'm going to poke you.
The fact that Rizza Goldeneye still lives and walks free, I pretty much unleash all my magical fury into the sky. Like, basically, like all the spells I have left, I just discharge.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many spells do you have left?
I got 3 first and another 2 second. So clouds of daggers and
seeing Falcor upset as he is, I kind of just lean in and go, the reason he walked free was because you pretty much let him walk free.
Oh, yeah. Take him while he's down, why don't you?
Yeah. There's no.
Both thing is everything except subtle.
I turn an angry, heated glare at you, and I'm very happy that I've exhausted all my spells.
Just roll all those at once.
I'm very happy I've exhausted all my spells.
Blow up the palace.
No ones.
Okay. That'd have been awesome to, in your rage, blow up the palace.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to say one happens. What do we got? The 10%?
And he simmers his rage by becoming a pot plant.
And he turns blue.
I cast a magic missile as per 5th level spell.
Okay.
So, yeah, more magic.
And you scream, Rizza, when you gotta find him.
Yeah.
Please hide behind the curtain. Who knows?
So it looks like fireworks going off outside of the balcony.
Yeah.
The guards at
Kids are
one point
gathering.
come in.
Little dragon kids are gathering, watching.
Maybe. And you see silhouetted. Well, what are you guys doing while he does this? Like, he's on the balcony, just like going nuts.
I'm
How would
here
that
making
go
sure he
there?
doesn't hurt anybody.
We haven't,
Don't aim it at anyone.
seen anything like this before.
No.
So I'm kind of going to be watching.
You taking more notes?
Yeah.
No,
Psychological survey.
I'll take some mental notes, but I'm like more concerned. Like, all right, should I be worried? Am I going to need to heal this guy?
I would make a request through the proper channels that we get some specially prepared clothes for our ambassador, so maybe she doesn't get stabbed in the back.
Yeah,
Maybe
nice.
she likes armor for her or something.
Body armor.
Yeah, something subtle.
Yeah. So what are you doing while the magical tirade is going?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you're out.
Like, I'm out of here.
All right. So in the flashes of arcane energy and magic light, overhead in the darkness, you see something massive fly by in the distance. And it's vaguely silhouetted. You can see that it looks like a dragon, which is something that is that you've never heard of being seen on Elfgania.
Well, it's only legends at this point in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you briefly, for like an instant, experience the same feeling you did when the Emperor approached the room. It's very fleeting though.
Well, that's not good. So when either he calms down or when I can approach Bloodfang, is that normal?
Yeah, there's dragons here.
Yeah. Him exploding like that, this is new, but
No, I mean that.
the thing that just flew by.
That was a dragon, right?
Yes.
There's not many here, but they are here.
There's no dragons where we come from.
Oh, they stop by sometimes.
They just stop by. These beings of myth and legend just exist here.
Yes.
As I calm down and come back into the conversation.
And they also serve the Emperor.
Sometimes
What
they
do
just
you
show up to
What do
the
you
park.
mean of myth and legend? They just exist. They are.
Where we come from, they are just that, myth and legend. None have been seen, in a millennia or more. I mean, it's just.
Upon seeing a good point where I can kind of just move away from the conversation and let the two intelligent ones talk with each other,
Okay.
I kind of do so.
I backstabbed them both.
From the front.
Yeah.
You're going to angle it so the great sword goes through both of them.
Well, you have cleave, so you just take the -5.
I don't have cleave.
Oh, you didn't take it?
No, he took the increase in strength. He's got 20 strength.
Oh, nice.
That's why I can pull something asleep in half now.
They're real. They're in this world. They're part of the world. Our emperor is one.
What do you mean he is one?
Do you think that form that he chose to take is the mere suggestion of what he truly is?
I could not even fathom to guess what he is. It's just the.
You did not feel the weight of his presence?
Oh, I absolutely did. I stood there in shock and awe and in fear of just his presence alone.
That's merely a form he chooses to take.
So again, too, like whether you think whether you've thought about it or not, the dragonborn realized too. Again, because you've now spent so much time away from this realm, in the realm of Volthgania with other humanoids, that it's really weird. Like the dragonborn are almost made in the shape of dragons, yet the dragon emperor takes a form that more mimics a human or an elf than
the dragonborn.
Just some food for thought. Ask me about it if you like. But
yeah, I don't think I'm
His cojones are not that large.
Not yet. Let me get another 16 levels under my belt. Then I'll think about it.
Wait till you're epic.
No good way.
Then I'll think about sustaining it around.
Get some levels, kill some dragons.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle. Need levels to kill the dragons. Need to kill dragons to get levels.
Yeah. It's like a drug addiction.
So you actually are able to have your request met, and because of the severity that would happen is probably the only reason. But you're given something that you've never seen before, but have only heard of in legends. And when you hold the cloth, it almost runs through your fingers like liquid metal, and at the same time, it feels like silk. And
I think the ambassador's not getting that.
What's that?
Yeah, I think the ambassador's not getting that. Yeah.
No, it's for the ambassador.
But when you hold it up, you realize that it's a chain shirt. But it's so subtle, you can see right away that she'll be able to wear this under her clothes without anyone even noticing.
Yeah. Well, go give it to her, explain why they give it to her, what it's for. Just because the safest way to keep this from escalating is to keep you and the other ambassador alive.
And you're made aware that the Dragon Emperor himself is honoring this request. And,
it's a dragon chain shirt.
No. It is elven chain. This has come from his personal vault. And when you present it to her, she's like, "Really, I don't think this is really necessary. Clearly, what happened was a one-off thing. There will be security now."
If you get killed, things escalate. You need to keep yourself alive.
I guess so. I'm resigned to
not let fall into Ryan's hands.
Yeah.
Because everybody else here can wear better.
Well, out of the two, she seems more frail. So he can kind of take care of himself. She doesn't seem to be able to.
True. Yeah. I think he's busy taking care of booty call texts. So she with some resignation, she says, "I will wear it. Thank you. I appreciate your concern." And with that, the next day, hot water and basically different things that you would use to clean yourself with. For the dragons, for the dragonborn, they actually bring hot water and it's almost like a gravel mix.
Oh, I'm getting the servitors that are going to exfoliate my scales and my polish my talons.
During my morning prayers, do I feel any any difference of connection.
No, you don't.
During my morning prayers, though, I will ask, like, what is the connection, between the realms? Because clearly my prayers can be heard, and what in relation, if anything, is there between Quenthel and the dragon above?
Okay, so
I know it's not going to be a direct. Here's your answer, but just something to think about.
you actually do get a feeling when you do this prayer, and as you quest for spiritual enlightenment and information. You connect to Quenthel as you normally do, with like a slight hesitant of resistance initially, but then everything proceeds as it normally does, and it's almost like you feel a resigned sigh come over you at the end of your prayers, and for a split second you just feel sad.
Can I insight that shit?
No.
Damn it.
Insight. I am sad.
Yeah.
Although I do like the idea that the prayers for Quenthel are just like questions that you pose. Like you're either like lecturing or questioning, like during the entirety of the thing.
So you guys, a servant comes to lead you, and you're actually given some ceremonial clothes to put on over top of your armor.
Okay.
It's it's a tabard and like a cape, not a cloak, but an actual cape.
So,
And
I don't know if we're involved in any way, shape, or form, but I'll have my my actual priest vestments.
okay, and you're told to lead the procession behind the person that's leading you in, and you're brought to the high citadel enclave. And as soon as you guys enter, it's almost like the sea, like it's it's like an amphitheater with just benches and rows and rows of benches that go upwards for as far as the eye can see. And in the far side of the room, there's a dais, tall stairs leading up to it, with the Dragon Emperor with his sword resting at the side of his throne, sitting. As soon as the doors open to the chamber, you hear a rhythmic stomping of feet, and it's all in unison, pretty much. And one of the first things you notice is standing at the benches are all warrior caste. They're all from the enclave of warriors. You can tell right away they're all wearing ceremonial armor. They all have some kind of armament upon them, and you don't see any scholarly types or what you might construe as priestly types. It might be a little bit harder for you two to differentiate, but you two definitely know these are all warriors from the enclave. And the three of you are directed to a bench that's actually off to the side, but at the bottom of the amphitheater.
Mm-hmm.
And you're directed to take the center.
Uh-oh.
Take it by force.
So, as you stand in the center, the noise, it begins to escalate and get louder and louder. It's deafening. The two of you feel the dragon fear come over you once again. The dragon awe. Everyone else, as you guys feel that pressure and that fear build and build and build, it seems like the dragonborn just get more excited and more pumped up. Like it's almost like they've all just drank 10 supercharged espressos.
Yeah. We had way too many Four Locos.
And
I'll grab my amulet and try to breathe through it.
yeah, you guys might be ventilating slightly. No one seems to notice or be paying attention. The Dragon Emperor begins to stride down the stairs with that sword once again. He has it clasped in two hands in front of him.
He still would have cut you in half.
Yeah, you have to fight him. You're gonna solo that shit.
And it seems like he's
Sort of doubling. Don't worry about it.
he slowly, leisurely seems to be walking down the steps. With each step that he comes closer to you, the noise reverberating through the amphitheater just gets louder and louder.
Reverberating.
What's that?
Reverberating.
That too. Until it's
I will pay
deafening.
to copy the target spell that I am casting.
You guys can. It's so loud you can actually feel it. Until he's standing in front of you, looming above you. He takes the sword and holds it aloft. And when he does that, all the sound just goes deathly silent.
Yeah.
The dragonborn begin to stop their stomping. And they're all looking. You can feel their eyes upon you.
This feels like the gladiator rings.
Bloodfang, you stand before me, a champion of the realm. We are here to pay you honor. Kneel before your emperor.
I do so.
By my blade, Stormwrath. He brings it down swiftly to your shoulder and just touches it so lightly.
Rolls a 1.
Just infatuated.
Barely hear the ting of metal upon metal. You feel a little jolt of electricity as lightning arcs off the blade into you.
Okay.
Just a tiny sting. We are here to raise you up in honor for what you've done for the realm and what you will yet do. With that, the blade comes back up and drops down to the other shoulder. Again, just a little bite of electricity.
Alright.
You, Bloodfang, who's come from beyond to come serve as one of my loyal subjects. Again, the blade shoots up and comes back down, just barely touching your snout. This day forth, you will go, not merely as Bloodfang. You will choose a first name, and Bloodfang will forevermore be the name of your house. As I knight you of the realm, you will serve me in matters of this city and beyond. You will serve the ambassador for me and protect the interests of the Dragon Emperor. When you rise, you will rise a knight of the realm. Stand.
Alright.
And as you stand, 2 dragonborn come up from behind you. You can feel their presence, but you're locked on the Emperor. Everyone else sees they're carrying a large iron cask. You can feel the heat at your back. Everyone else, you can see it glowing. It's not quite the size of a coffin, but close. You can see the hot coals burning in this cask. They step around Bloodfang and they lay it at the Emperor's feet. He reaches into the coals. You can hear the sizzle of flesh and pop of skin blistering as he pulls forth a sword about half the size of his. But as he holds it up in front of your face, you can at first you see the gleaming metal, the reflection of your visage, but it slowly fades as you see fire reflecting up and down the blade as if someone was holding it to a hearth.
All right.
You will take this, and you will go forth, and you will serve me.
As you wish.
This blade is Flame Reach, and it is now yours. And he hands it to you hilt first.
I take it carefully.
So when you grab it, you can feel the heat coming off of it, and the sensation of warmth spread throughout your body. And it is a great story.
Right. Cast message. Kill the Emperor, become the Emperor.
Keep what you kill. Keep what you kill. This isn't Riddick. Sorry, Riddick. There's no T at the end of this thing.
And with that, he sheathes his sword and raises up his hands, and once again, there's an explosion of noise as all the dragonborn in this chamber scream at the top of their lungs a war cry.
Even I join into it. The scholar is
Start the wave.
You definitely feel the primordial scream in their blood.
That's all I can do to hold back a breath weapon.
Yeah.
Do you join in?
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, he turns his back and walks back up to his throne. And the noise begins to die down, and then the dragonborn begin to file out. And as they do, each one salutes you as he heads for the door. Until finally, the only ones left in the room are the Emperor and you guys. That is why you've been recalled. You will serve me as my knight in the realms beyond.
It's an honor. Thank you.
And with that, he dismisses you guys.
As we walk out and things start to get a little less solemn, there still is the matter of you determining a first name.
Look at Jim to me.
Jimbo.
Given
Jimbo.
Bloodfang.
Jimbo.
Given your recent string of success and successful tenure in the gladiatorial rings, may I suggest Victus?
That would work.
Victus Bloodfang.
Got a good ring to it.
Bearer of Fire Reach. So as you guys exit, you're met by one of the Emperor's assistants, and basically said, recoup for the next day or two, but then you're expected to go back to your duties. And you'll have to bear a message for a further message for the Emperor to the Council of Griffingath about what has transpired. A missive has already been sent as per your request, but he is taking his time to draft up something more formal.
It'll be done. I'd be ready to depart upon the evening if need be. But I would also would like to enjoy the splendors of the city whilst I may.
3 days.
3 days' time.
The Dragon Emperor gives you. And you gentlemen shall be guests of the Dragon Emperor for the 3 days to your return to your homeland.
It is an honor.
The honor is ours. He gives you his dragon salute. And in the next couple of days, whenever you're out on the streets, you just see people look at you and they have a little bit of awe, and you're giving you respect that you've never really received before.
This confuses me greatly.
And at this point, also, if you would like to change your background from entertainer gladiator, you may switch it to knight.
Okay. I'll probably take care of that after all this. This way I...
Yeah, so Yeah, the way we'll discuss how you can handle that later on. So if there's nothing else anyone wants to do, we're going to end it there.
I will take them to dragonborn hibachis, where they poke with breath weapons.
Nice.
I want to go to the Spire of the Spirit.
Okay.
And just see what's there, see if I can find out what they do as trials or challenges to be able to essentially get acceptance.
You gonna jump ship?
I'm learning. I'm curious. It's kind of what my character's about. But I will either attempt to purchase or inquire about getting that symbol. Just to further my own thing, because when I prayed and I asked my questions, it was kind of like a sigh and sad. So I'm like, well, maybe there is some kind of link that I'm not aware of. I don't know what the future holds as to how often we're going to be coming back here, but if we do, I'd like there to be some.
So there's two things in that side, resignation and sadness,
right?
Were what you experienced.
So I don't know whether there was whether that sigh and sadness was about I lost children to this, or dude, you're smart, why don't you already know that it's one and the same, or why don't you know that we're completely two separate things? It's, there's lots of possibilities going through his head at the moment.
You want to put the Tetris puzzle together as quickly as you can.
It's not even that. I mean, when with this build, whatever, once you uncover one mystery, yay, great, move on to the next one. So it's a constant process. So he's filling around.
Okay. So when you do inquire about the test, you're actually offered you're offered an invitation to the next trials.
Okay.
You make which all three enclaves hold the trials at the same time, same place, and then people kind of get sorted via the hat. Yeah. And
it's very grumpy.
The next trial is not for some months yet, but we will send for you when the time comes if that is your desire.
I wish no insults. I do not know whether I would have the ability to study. I do have duties back in Gryffindor, but I would love to know how my duties have prepared me for what your trials are, if I were to take them.
Well, you may come witness them, but you cannot partake. You're not dragonborn.
Oh, my apologies for my assumption.
Racist. Flame strike.
Yeah. Wow. I do see Quinthal being one day that's open to you can kind of study other religions, even experiment with praying to the deity, and she'd be kind of okay with it because it is questioning for a trial period.
Every cleric goes through that.
Yeah.
In college, cleric college.
My apologies for my incorrect assumption. Then absolutely, if I might be able to come and bear witness, then absolutely. I would love to actually witness.
Well, we can definitely make those arrangements come the time. And then also, when you get your tour, you're actually given the option of touring the other enclaves as well.
Okay.
And any other part of the city.
Like the Dragonborn Hibachis.
Like the Dragonborn Hibachis.
Totally thing.
So, with that...
Should we just get him to a shawarma joint?
A shawarma. So with that, we'll wrap it up here. You guys go through your next 3 days. Unless there's anything pressing that you feel like you want to do or need to do, you'll then head out uneventfully and find your way back to Gryffindor.
I mean, I'll go and see what information they have on the anomaly.
Oh, and even if you guys come up with anything, between sessions, and you just want to Facebook message me or whatever, like I did this or I checked that out, or this is what I'm trying to do, that's fine as well. And we can
work that out.
Yeah, work on that a little bit. But for you guys out there in the interwebs, until next time, stay nerdy.